Okay, hello. My name is Randall Borden. I'm an attorney in Maryland and Virginia, and this is my legal podcast. And welcome all my viewers. We have here today as a guest Mr. Manmeet Saluja. He is a CPA. He's also an enrolled agent, CMA, and has an MBA, and is a fractional certified CFO, and he's 17 years of experience. In addition to being a CPA, he also provides strategic planning, forecasting, and tax solutions. He does cross-border accounting, compliance, and operational efficiency. So, Mr. Manby, can you start off explaining what a CMA is? That's the one I didn't recognize.
Yeah, it's a certified management accountant. This kind of qualification, manufacturing industry, that's helpful. When you have that qualification, you go into a manufacturing company, and they have issues with inventory and lots of cost of labor, cost of material. So this education gives you skill set to provide solutions in that area of expertise.
And that's more in the manufacturing part, you said.
Yeah, it's more kind of when you're manufacturing, you get to know about you're dealing with inventory issues, you're dealing with labor issues, standard.
Right, and then you're also
different
a certified financial officer, I guess a full-time and a fractional certified financial officer. How does that work?
So I've been a CFO, which is a chief financial officer.
Chief financial, okay, thank you.
For a company. For a company for more than a decade. And so now I offer fractional CFO services, the companies who cannot afford a full-time CFO. So I go in there with charging them a fraction of it, and I give them the same set so that they can improve their profitability and have operational efficiencies in the systems.
Okay. So you would, meet with them once a month or once a year, or how do those services, how is that chunk of time usually purchased?
So it depends on what requirement they are. So when somebody hires me as a fractional CFO, the interaction during the initial meetings is much more, because I'm in a process of understanding their business, what they're doing and what has been there, what are challenges they're facing. Once we get to that, then I present them with my action plan, and then we implement the action plan. So it depends, if the enterprise is a bigger, we can meet the client maybe 2 times a week or 3 times a week. And once the strategies are put in place, then the frequency of meeting them goes down, because we know that the company has gone on cruise control. So we maintain the speed of the strategies, and they're working, and that's how it goes.
Okay. Do you have what type of clients do you have? Do you have a specialty or a focus, or just in general, broad?
So this is my second year of my CPA practice of my own. So I'm an owner of a CPA firm here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Before that, I worked in a CPA firm. I worked in a construction industry. I worked in manufacturing. I worked in trucking industry, logistics. So my focus is for any business who needs strategic alliance, who needs guidance in terms of improving their efficiencies. So what I do is I bring in 2 key areas for my clients. One is above the line, one is below the line. When I say above and below the line, that means net profits. So when I'm talking about above the line, there I kick in my CFO fractional services, and I try to improve their operational efficiency so that the bottom line can increase. And when I say below the bottom line, it means as a CPA, I bring in tax efficiencies to see what entity structure they have, how I can save them the savings by putting in retirement plans in with the help of a financial advisor and all that stuff. So I help the client above the line and below the line.
I see. And of course, that is the below the line assumes they have profits. So you have to do the above the line first, I guess, right?
Right. But the most important part is if somebody comes to me after the year is done, I can't do them. I'm just a tax preparer helping them in the compliance. Most important for any business is to contact me or a fractional CFO during the year when the year is going on. But
right.
that's the time when I can go in, I can have analysis of their operations, tell them, okay, these strategies going to work to improve your profit line. And once we see that the profit is increasing or maximizing, then we bring in the tax efficiencies within that year so that the strategies can be implemented. And then it's beyond the tax compliance part, because now we are knocking down both the operations and the tax planning at one time.
Right, and all before the end of the year, before those taxes are locked in place, right? Do the tax planning middle and end of the year, I guess. Okay, then do you just? I noticed you said that you do also cross-border accounting. So is that in another U.S. state, or is that outside of the United States?
So, but when I say cross-border, I'm a Canadian, and
Okay.
I'm on an E2 visa in the US, and I help a lot of people who come to the US on E2 visa. E2 visa is all about establishing an enterprise in the US, a company, a business in the US. So these guys do not know about the tax laws, because while you become a tax resident in the US, even though your immigration status is that you're on visa, you still have to comply as any other person who is an American citizen. And being an American citizen or a tax resident of the US, you have to report your worldwide income. So take an example. If a Canadian comes to the US and he establishes the tax residency, just like me, even though you are on a work visa or an enterprise visa, which I am, you still have to report your Canadian assets, your Canadian income, and there are so many forms which you have to fill up to be in compliant with the IRS. So when I say cross-border means I help these international people coming in from different countries. So I have clients in Turkey, I have clients in Australia, in New Zealand, in Canada, in Britain, who are coming to the US to set up their businesses, but then I hold their hand and help them in the compliance part. Because, just quote an example. There is one form called 5472. If you do not comply that form, the fines or penalties are $25,000.
No.
So if you do not comply with the fine is $10,000. So likewise, there are so many forms, so much compliance is required when you are a foreign citizen in the US as a tax resident. So that's what means cross-border.
I see. Okay. Is that the same thing? You said the E visa, is that the same as I guess E is for entrepreneur, right? Is that
Yes.
Is that the same as an investor visa?
Exactly. E2 visa is the investor visa.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but there are other categories in the investor visa.
Got it. Okay. I'm just more interested in the fractional CFO part of it. So how long does your task usually last when a business brings you in for that?
So I take initial 3 months in understanding the business. Let's suppose, any business having a sale of $1 to $5 million. I'm assuming they can't afford a full-time CFO, so I can go in at a fraction of cost. It will take me 3 months to understand their systems. And once I understand the systems and what's happening in the business, then I can come up with the strategies. And once I implement them, 6 to 8 months it takes to improvise, because you're talking to the accountants in the team, you're talking to the operational guys, the marketing guys, to fix the entire structure, how the business is running. Right. And then it's a one-to-one contact with the owner of the company, just to brain train him. Okay, this is what we need to strategize and improve the operational efficiencies. So we can talk about 6 to 8 months it takes to do everything what I do to bring the operational efficiencies. And then it's not like once I'm done, my job is finished. It's an ongoing process. So, if my contact is 3 times a week with the client, it goes to two times, after 3 months. Maybe it goes to 1 time after 6, 7, 8 months. But I'm still on board to make sure that they are on track, which I put them on, and I can bring the efficiencies and show the results that they are making more money.
So basically, you would hope to see the results within a year. And then after that,
yes,
maintain it. You would be so involved in that, or again, hopefully, grow and improve it along that launch.
Exactly.
Launching it off for the more the higher revenues and higher profits. Okay.
Right.
And then, so getting back to the beginning, what made you become a CPA? What inspired you? Or you said you came here from Canada, is that right?
That's right. I'm a Canadian citizen living in the US. I did my CPA I passed my exams back in 2010. So it's not like I passed today or yesterday.
Right,
I've
right.
been, but when I came to the US, then I got my license. While in Canada, I was working as a CFO for that manufacturing unit for many years, and there was no need for me to, get my license. So once I was in the US, the need came in because CPA is a very respectable, designation, and it's the highest designation in the accounting and taxes.
Right.
So when I saw that, what I passed few years ago has so much value, that inspired me to get my license and open up my own firm. And in sense, what I learned in so many years, now I give this to so many businesses to improve their profitability and, make people profitable is what I like.
Right. See the success. Yeah. How did you pick Florida? I mean, I know there's no state income tax, and I guess it's a little warmer than Canada. Was that any other reasons?
It's not little warmer. It's way warmer. I am Indian by birth. I came to Canada in 2007. I was happy because it was too hot in India, but few years passed by, it was too cold. Right. That's the reason I chose Florida from Canada.
Mm-hmm. How did you pick that area of Florida?
It's destiny, I would say, because when I came to US, I picked up a job in West Palm Beach. I thought that Port St. Lucie was the right fit. My commute was 40 minutes, and that's how I picked. It's all destiny, I would say. But I love the town. It's a small town, half an hour from the ocean, and where I live is very calm. So I love the place.
We used to go down there all the time to buy the tax certificates when they'd sell off the real estate taxes. So that was we'd always work in a vacation at that time. Now I understand they all do it. Everything's online, and you don't even have to travel to Florida anymore. But that was we went all over Central Florida, and so we made it down to Miami once in a while. But that was a lot of fun. And plus you'd make money. So that was another good thing too. Well, I guess I have to ask you about the future. Now we got Donald Trump saying he's going to abolish the IRS, pull thousands of agents off and send them down to guard the southern border. Elon Musk is going to audit the IRS. Nobody's working in the office, so everyone has to return to office. Is any of Trump's plans going to come to pass?
What he's going to do, I have no control and no say. But if it happens, what he's saying, it's going to increase the role of CPA more in today's world. Why? Because if you go to take a loan from a bank, they rely on tax returns and all those documents. Let's suppose the tax documents are not, and our role increases more because then they want us to produce like audit reports or reviews or compilations as a third-party provider to give them the comfort of the financials. So our importance goes more higher. We'll be more in demand as a profession if IRS is abolished because it's all about lending in businesses. So even for the retail person, if you're going out for a mortgage, if you don't have a tax return, then maybe, I'm just talking about hypothetical case, they would need a statement of net worth. And, statement of net worth audited or reviewed or compiled by a CPA. So being that profession, we see that our demand will grow a lot. So on a sideline, my wife is also a CPA, and my son is in second year of college, and he's inspired to become a CPA. So we'll be three.
Excellent.
Yeah. 2 years.
Right. Well, very good. But I hadn't thought of that because so many people rely on the tax returns. And if you have no tax returns or watered down tax returns or huge exemptions, so you don't really need to keep that income and expense sheet real tight, they're going to need your services even more. Anyone that deals with them, purchase and sale, contractor and subcontractor. They have to make sure that the subcontractor is not going to go out of business halfway through the building. Yeah, and again, just to keep, I do a lot of divorces as a family law lawyer. That's every single divorce. Tax returns, bank statements, pay stubs, retirement plans, credit cards, and that's the first request right on day one. And yeah, if we don't get those tax returns, that is going to be, because all we're going to get is what the husband feels like telling us. So
Yep.
and lots of ways to hide money in a business. Not so much a W-2. We subpoena the employer. We can get that, but without the tax returns under penalty of perjury, facing criminal charges if they falsify it. That's the centerpiece of the finances of the family. So I think what he's going to do is try to cut back on making people file or something like that. He might raise the dollar amount whether you have to file a return, or he's already wiped out taxes on tips, taxes on Social Security, and then taxes on tips I've had restaurants as clients and bars, and that's a nightmare. Just, the IRS comes in, they sit at the bar, they watch to see what the business is going on, and then they hit you with a Jeopardy assessment. So, that's the way that's the way collection operates in the IRS. So what do you see as in the future? How much is AI going to play a part in doing tax returns?
Tax return is a basic function of a tax preparer. So AI might pick up that, but there are different scenarios of a tax return. Somebody is married filing jointly, somebody is single, somebody is head of household, somebody has one kid, somebody has other dependents. So there is so much permutation and combination in tax return. I can't comment what AI is gonna do in future, but what I see is even if the AI takes up the basic tax preparation from the forte of the CPA services, right, but there is a lot of stuff AI cannot do, wherein it's a combination of qualitative and quantitative skills. It cannot bring in the experience. Let's suppose I have a client who has a different scenario. I have another client who has a different scenario. So the scenario analysis, which is there by an experienced person, would not be there by an AI. AI is going by the books, what's written in there. Right. So experience will always be over the AI. That's my mindset.
That's kind of the way I use it now in law. Is I'll ask a question, it'll give me a general answer. I'll dive in deeper for more detailed answers, and then I'll say, okay, prove it. Show me the statute, show me the regulation, show me the court rule, show me the case law. And sometimes I get it, and sometimes I don't. So the other day I asked.
I'll give you an example. Like for a partnership in S corp, their deadline is March 17th. And if you miss the deadline and you do not file an extension, the fines are $245 per partner or per shareholder up to 12 months. Now I push in ChatGPT, okay, what is the fine? It's giving me $210. I'm saying this is not current. And then he comes back to me, no, this is current. Then I say, okay, please refer to the latest IRS bulletin number so and the fine is $245. And right, then he says, oh, I apologize for my oversight. So AI is not like it's right all the time. Yeah. If you don't know the stuff, you cannot get the information from AI. You can only get information if you have the knowledge of the subject matter. So that's what I'm saying. As a CPA, so there is so much knowledge in the AI. Let's suppose example, I'm not a doctor, but if I ask something as a doctor, it will give me those answers. And if the doctor doesn't know about the CPA stuff, so he cannot get out what I can get out. So every function or every field, it's helpful to the field, but it's not like beyond the field. So me as a CPA, I don't know what lawyers do, so I can't get out the information. So that's how the AI helps every single day.
Yeah, my example is similar. I asked, is this allowed or not? And they came up with an answer. I said, well, show me the code section that permits it. And they said, well, it's not really a code section. It's a government form. And because it appears on line so-and-so of the government form, it must be allowed. So that was the conclusion of AI, that it was permitted by law. So you really have to know what you're asking and then drill down into it. It's convenient. I use it for a lot of times, drafting, making things written properly. I can give it I can feed it in, it's a template, and then feed in the information, and it'll basically fill out the blanks of a template. It's very good at that. I'm even having it go through now and classify client documents, because I normally get like this much documents all at once and, scan it in and then have AI sort it, these bank statements, these pay stubs, something unknown, which client do they pertain to, what's the date. It can do a fairly good job on that, about 80-90% on that. It's hitting it pretty well there. Yeah, as in terms of relying on it 100%, I just don't think it would ever happen. What'd be interesting though is how the amateurs use it, because they could just flood the legal system with legal pleadings and documents and motions, and they could just use this to overwhelm the court system, just filing a court activity every week, memoranda to back it up. And somebody's going to have to wade through all that and figure out whether the cases are real, do they say what they supposedly say, or I see there's a massive expansion in people filing stuff. Definitely filing it in court, in civil case. I just do civil. I don't do criminal. But, you could see even a pro se prisoner, with nothing else to do, just flooding with that kind of thing. Or I guess in the financial world, searching for getting false valuations of property to make it look like an actual appraisal, certified documents, make it take this document, copy it, but come out with this valuation, instead of the lower valuation, and then submit it that way. And how do you know? Other than it's very well written, that's about the only clue that you really have that something is a document anyway, is AI generated. And so it's going to be an interesting future that's coming. And of course, everybody promises a chat bot. That's the new thing, and that'll be AI, or you can direct the salesman over here, or direct the new clients here, or direct the existing clients to you. But is that being hyped in the accounting world like it is in the legal world, that AI is going to solve all your problems?
AI would not solve the problem. It will give you a reference. Like you said, in the legal cases, you can refer to the cases. Same in our case, some problem we have, then I go in the system and ask for deferral sections or publications by the IRS. So it's kind of a reference guide to me. Right. That's what I see AI helping me daily life, because if I have a situation, I put in my situation, I go deeper in there, and I always reference to the tax laws, tax cases, and to the IRS publications. And once I get that, then I actually go on the content on the website on the IRS or right. The tax cases to find out, okay, so it helps you to get where you want to be, put right. another way. So that's it opens up a path to get more knowledge. Yes, it's very helpful, I would say.
Well, they're giving us, I guess we're getting more hype than you are, because they're saying you feed your documents in, and then you can talk to your documents. What bank statements are missing? What was the standard household budget, and where did it deviate from that? You had it. Did the husband ever charge on his credit card an out-of-state credit card charge? And you look at that, and it's a no-tell motel where he was having an affair or something like that. So that's what they're promising, is an evaluation of all of your documents. We'll see. Especially, I know in personal injury case, I don't do personal injury, but they're saying they'll give you a medical, you put your client's medical records in, and they'll give you the evaluation. What does the client need to do? What's the value of the case? How you should proceed? Should you take the client at all? Brave new world is coming, I guess. But I got the dog outside there. Then you're going to be staying there, expanding. Your family's going to join you. You're going to grow the practice there. What's your next area that you're going to expand into?
My family is with me already. My son is in second year of college. He's
he'll eventually join you as a right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
He will eventually. So I just want to grow into more audits, reviews, and compilation. That is one key area which I have not started yet. So I am providing fractional CFO services. I'm providing tax planning, tax compliance, all that stuff is happening. The attestation, I have not started yet. So once this tax season is over, I'm going to go into that because I do get inquiries from different businesses. They need audits, they need reviews, they need compilations, and I'm just holding on myself until the tax season is over. So that's my next field to get into.
Don't forget, you could be an expert witness in court. Business disputes or divorce cases, business valuation. How much is the husband's business really worth? He's been running through false expenses. He's got, subsidiaries set up. Is it really worth? He's paying, $20,000 a month for consultation to a company in Nevada. What's he really getting for that? That kind of thing, to siphon off marital assets and evade taxes. Once you kind of break into that, that's a very lucrative, because you can not only you can give opinions without actually having to go to, most of the time the legal experts will give an opinion and they never have to testify, because most cases are settled before they actually go to a jury. And even if you have to somebody wants you to take your deposition, that's usually done like this remotely now, so you don't even have to leave your office. So think about that. That's some good money. You charge at the beginning so they can use you as an expert. You charge to review the documents, and then you charge to testify in court. So you got three different streams, three different time periods for your cash flow there. But yeah, and then if Trump does now what he did back then when he was president before, the mergers and acquisitions are just going to be waved on through. They're not going to be scrutinized that closely for antitrust or things like that. So that could really take off quite at an amazing pace. It looks like Florida is his favorite place, right? He's right down there, practically next door.
Yep. He's talking about bringing in the tax cuts which he had in 2017. So once they are revived, because they are expiring, sunsetting in this year in 2025. So if they are revived, then you'll see more and more investments coming in equipments and all these things wherein the companies can get 100% depreciation, and that's the charm, is front load or take depreciation at the first year, majority of it, minimize the tax bill, and then move on to the next year and forwards. I do offer due diligence, and I have done due diligence of businesses in buying and selling. I also do forensic audits. So I've helped some clients too on the forensic part. So I've been doing that, but I've not done the expert witness yet.
Yeah, start in a particular area. Like I said, maybe business valuations or hiding money, forensic audits, something like that. And then once you do one case, really, that lawyer will refer you out as their go-to guy. So that kind of thing. I saw one, wasn't my case, but I saw it, heard it in court, is that the husband was a salesman, very successful, and of course he had a lot of credit card bills, and he showed that to his wife's lawyer in the divorce, like, yes, I have a lot of income, but this is what I have to spend, to get those clients, to get them to commit, with the wining and dining and the travel and the expensive restaurants. He was also getting 100% reimbursement from his work for all of those credit cards. So he wanted for the divorce, gross income minus his credit card expenses, and yet he was also getting reimbursement for all of those. So that took a little digging by the attorney to figure that out. But that's the kind of stuff that people pull, and of course they'll take contracts and ask them, don't pay me until the divorce is over, or pay my friend, or so that I don't have to report it as gross income, and then I can show all those same expenses as last year, but no income, or much less income. Even that one case where the husband shut his business down is completely during the divorce. That kind of stuff happens also, and then you have to get into imputed income? Can the husband, what is his proper level of earnings? Even though he's ostensibly no longer working or voluntarily underemployed. So yeah, that's just the divorce world. You start getting into business contracts, somebody leaves a company and goes off and sets up their own company, steals all the clients. What's the monetary value of the stolen clients? So, but yeah, that's year-round work too. So it's not the crazy surge January, February, March, April. So.
Yeah, I'm working 7 days a week. So I'm in the office right now. It's Saturday. So I'm working 7 days a week from maybe 9 to 9 every single day. So I'm putting a lot of hours these days.
And then you'll take off all of June or something to if only.
I can't take much off because I do have fractional CFO clients. Right. So I have to be in regular touch with them, guide them, put the policies in place, and I'm always hunting for new business because this is my second year of my going by myself as the owner of a CPA firm. So I'm always looking for expansion and getting more clients in the door. So okay. I'm working always.
Right. And so you mentioned that your typical CFO client then would be $1 million to $5 million. So that would be an established business, right? That's what's yes. kind of getting expenses too high or capped out on growth.
Any business which has gone up to 1 million to 5 million, they are just by their own because they started from the very scratch, or maybe they bought an existing business. Right. So they are just doing a bare bone accounting and getting the taxes done. Nobody has looked into from the strategic viewpoint, how the business can improvise the operational efficiencies and bring more profits. So that's a perfect spot for me wherein, I can go in and they don't need a full-time CFO. They don't need to spend $200,000 to $300,000 on a CFO. Right. I come at a fraction of cost, give them the same service, and I grow them from 1 million to 5 million or whatever it is till the time they're ready to hire a full-time CFO. Right. So that's my sweet spot between maybe like from 1 million to 6 million, 7 million, because once you reach that number, you have enough income to bring someone on board like full-time.
Full-time, right.
So right. That's why I say between 1 million or maybe 500,000 can also work. 500,000 to 5 million, 6 million. That's a sweet spot. And there are tons of business owners who are in this spot, and they don't know that they need help. That's the irony. They don't know they need help because they say, "Oh, we made 200,000, we made 300,000, we made $500,000." What if your $500,000 is actually 1.5 million? You don't know the potential of your business.
Pretty much the only thing they've got as their financial controls would be, they have to pay their taxes, then they have to pay back a bank loan, and I guess worst case would be they fall into the clutches of some kind of a accounts receivable company where they pledge all their credit card receipts at 30% discount, and then just getting out of smoothing their cash flow so they don't go from crisis to crisis, and then getting away from the high interest. You probably double the profits and you have better bedtime for the owner, just like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, you just work in Florida, or do you work in other states or nationwide or Canada, you said, but.
No, so I'm nationwide. I have clients in California, I have clients in Ohio, Texas. I have all over the place. So being a CPA, so I'm licensed in Florida, Texas, and California. When I say licensed, it means I can open offices here, but I can give my CPA services to anyone who needs them. It's beyond Florida, and I'm licensed to do that. But in the case of audits, then I have to, audits have different rules, but in terms of fractional CFO services, in terms of tax planning, tax preparation, due diligence, forensic stuff, I can offer to anyone, anywhere.
I had a friend who sold his business for a lot of money, and he had apparently very competent lawyers, but I just mentioned to him, if you move your business to a state, because I think he was worldwide. His customers, he did online teaching, so that could be done anywhere, in the world. His customers were anywhere that you would have the need for this. I said, why don't you just move your business over to a state that doesn't have income taxes, and then you can sell your business and you won't have to pay or much lower capital gains taxes. I don't know. He just didn't he just didn't do it. He went ahead and sold it and took the tax hit. So Virginia was very thankful, I guess. But I mean, that kind of stuff. That's advising at the end of a business. I mean, he still has to work there for a couple of years as it's part of the deal. Yeah, I mean, just the hundreds of thousands of dollars that just he didn't have to pay. What the heck are your lawyers doing for you? But I don't know. Anyway, and he didn't even seem at all interested in finding that out. So there you go. Always opportunities out there. So reincorporating or setting up a subsidiary in a tax-free state, and then having deals go back and forth, management agreements or leasing trademarks or something like that. Especially California, right? Every dentist in California has a Nevada corporation to funnel the money to pay the expenses into. That's what I've heard. And again, Florida and Texas, they're just booming because good business climates and no state income taxes. It's just
exactly.
Yeah, I don't see it ever. I don't see the states ever waking up and changing that as their economies shrink and the talented people move out. And it just seems to be an inevitable flow into the tax-free state. I know Tennessee just went tax-free. They have 4 seasons, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. People are moving there because finally, right? It's not Alaska, it's not Florida and Texas, it's not New Hampshire, it's not Wyoming, it's not South Dakota. So yeah, so there a lot of businesses are moving there now too. But again, the tax-free part, but as you say, I hadn't even thought of that without taxes, everyone is still going to want to know what's going on in their company. And to the extent that people like me have been relying on tax returns if that's gone or greatly reduced, then you got more work to do. That'll be very. I'm at home too with obviously a dog. So okay, well that's very good. And then I guess you're always looking for more work on the CFO part, right?
Yes, always.
Okay, and then so that would be, I guess, your growth area going forward, and then
Yes.
What would come after that? What do you see as technological changes in taxes?
That's an interesting question. I mean, AI is coming very fast. What there was 2 years ago or 1 year ago or 6 months ago, the way we are progressing in terms of AI is quite remarkable and fast, because ChatGPT is the platform, but then I see there is a tax GPT. Mm-hmm. So from the Chat GPT, people are going into different arena of the services. Maybe there would be a dedicated Chat GPT for medical people, maybe for the lawyers, accountants. I see it's already there, maybe for the engineers. So once you go there, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still pulling up the information from the whole Chat GPT world, I would say. I don't know if you heard about the deep seek something came out of China, and a few weeks ago, and there was stock market tank because of that. So every now and then people know how Chat GPT can revolutionize the people, how it can help the people in daily life. Like for me as a CPA, I get so much reference to that platform in terms of tax laws and the IRS publications. Mm-hmm. So going forward, I would see it will, redefine itself to make life easy for us and for common man. And
then, unfortunately, there's going to be more and more people simply left behind. I witnessed that when the courts went to electronic filing, because you used to have to print everything out, sign it, bring it to the courthouse, hand it to the clerk, they'd stamp the copy, go back to your office. And now it's just hit the button and file it. And then you get an electronic receipt back. A lot of lawyers, they've been around for decades. They knew how everything worked, a great body of knowledge just from experience. And they were just saying, I'm not going to learn how to do this, and goodbye.
Right.
Now with the AI, I think it's kind of the same thing, that the lawyers have just kind of gotten used to computers, but this AI, they don't know. They don't trust it. Who is this giving me answers when I should go out and, know the answers for myself? Well, okay, but like you say, you got to know the questions to ask too. And at least AI can, first off, the efficiency of improvement is staggering, to be able to write a document in 10% of the time as from before. And like I say, you can feed in templates and show the layout, and then just getting kind of an idea of how things work that kind of points you in the right direction, which may be the opposite of what ChatGPT says, but at least you kind of have a concept of which way to proceed there. Yeah, so that's kind of the way a big company in law called Lexis, and they're promising AI. They say they've got it. So just sign up for them and go. But I haven't done that, but it's probably going to be coming to all the professions, like, you say medical and insurance. Why do we need claims adjusters when we can just feed in the accident report and decide how much to pay? So that'll be a brave new world there. But there'll always be a need for an intermediary, I think. Like my clients, some of them are very sophisticated, some of them they're not. They still bring me the papers. They still want to have meetings in the office instead of meetings like this. It's just going to be, sorry, you don't fit in society anymore. You work it out for yourself, or find someone who can help you. And maybe that's the way it's going to be in taxes. Maybe the IRS will handle an AI. Will create an AI to determine who gets audited. And they'll replace all the people. All right. Well, very good. I do appreciate your time, and I guess you got to get back to work.
Thank you so much.
I will keep you in mind on the CFO, and I probably will be referring some at least some potential clients to you. Let's put it that way.
Thank you. Much appreciated.